welcome to what?
Finally. How many times have we talked about doing this podcast?
I mean, it's been a year, maybe?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
You're talking about movies?
Yeah.
I mean, we talk so much about movies anyway.
We're always talking about movies.
A bit like Tom Cruise, who looks at one movie every day. There's not everybody watch one movie every day, or sometimes twice. Today I watched Star Wars.
There's been days where I haven't, and I used to always watch 2 to 3 movies a day.
No.
I worked at Hollywood Video back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
and I would take home 3 VHS tapes and just watch them
Every night.
every night.
Now you can rent all new releases or anything else for 5 days.
Really?
Yeah, so you can just enjoy it at your own pace. At other video stores, you only get 1 day on new releases. So you can't enjoy it because you're too worried about getting it back on time. And then you gotta fly out the door in order to get to the video store before it closes. And the clock is ticking, the phone is ringing, the late fees are piling up so high.
He's really into special effects.
Only Hollywood Video has Star Wars.
I remember exactly how it sounded when the VHS popped out. You want to do the honors?
I'm going to do the honor?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening.
Welcome.
Welcome for the first episode of Movies and Wine today. The next probably have another name.
It's not bad.
No, it's pretty good. I kind of
Yeah,
like it.
It's accurate.
So let's talk about wine, first of all.
Okay.
Pinot Noir from Jura. Beautiful. It's a beautiful region on the border of Switzerland. It's just right at the bottom of the mountain for 80 kilometers. And it's a Pinot Noir that, everybody loves.
Sounds disgusting.
Yeah, indeed, it is. So what is the movie we're going to talk about today especially? Not the best movie of the year, but the movie we want to talk about, and it's going to be a subject of the image of all year.
There's a couple of themes that have been consistent.
Yeah.
And I think the obvious one is something we talked about, something you brought up earlier.
Vomiting on the 1%. I mean, we've seen that in a few movies this year. One comes particularly into mind when you talk about that. I mean, it's The Triangle of Sadness, which is not on any list of best movie of the year, which is in Rotten Tomato, IMDb.
Yeah. If Triangle of Sadness isn't on a top 20, then what the fuck is going on? Like, that's crazy.
It's one of the top movie because they got the Palme d'Or this year at Cannes, Festival de Cannes. They got Palme d'Or, Festival de Cannes.
Ooh.
Thank you, and have a good evening.
Thanks for coming. Check out Triangle of Sadness.
So, so Triangle of Sadness.
Yes.
It's a movie made by this...
Oatsland.
From...
He makes satires only, right? Or at
Yeah,
least the last
correct.
4 movies. He did The Square before this,
Square.
which was a satire on the art world.
On the art world, on the
He did Force,
contemporary art world, or modern art, we could say.
Force Majeure before that.
I haven't seen this one.
I think it was called, actually that movie was called Tourist originally. And so it's obviously, I think, a satire on just tourism. Tourists coming and acting the fool.
Which we can do a lot of covering on this kind of stuff because, when you're a tourist, you become another person, I guess. Allez, to movies and to everybody going to the theater. So, Triangle of Sadness.
Wait, hold on, let me taste this one. Hold on. How do I do it? Just gotta...
So,
Hold the glass up and examine the wine against the light. You're looking for color and clarity. Now, stick your nose in it. Maybe some strawberry. Oh, there's just a flutter of like a nutty Edam cheese.
you take it.
Pinky out?
No, you don't have to pinky
okay.
up. But you never want to touch the glass because if you touch the glass, your warmth is going to warm up the temperature of the wine, which is cave temperature brought by Vincent in its perfect temperature. Then, of course, you look at his robe, his dress, how he's dressed up, and you can see at the light that it's a beautiful ruby color, which is not a lot of grapes can bring that color. Then you bring into your nose. You smell, you smell a terroir, you smell some fruits. Obviously, it's a fruit juice fermented, so you feel fruits. You feel like land, you feel a region, you feel a flower.
You got this from where? Trader Joe's?
When do we drink it?
Now,
Well, and then you just drink,
Okay.
You drink sip by sip, you enjoy every time.
Vintage 2018, soil type. They give you the soil type on the label.
Correct.
Clay and limestone.
Clay and limestone being to me, number one terrain to grow wine.
Flavor profile: fruit forward, spicy, and balanced. But it's misspelled forward. Just you should call them and let them know that they put forward.
Classic immigrant importing wine. That's what I gotta say.
Yeah. Anyways, moving right along here.
Triangle of Sadness. I mean, me love that movie. We went to see it together, if I remember well.
Yes, yep. And our friend Jessie O'Neill and your
And a
wife
friend
O'Neill.
Jessie was there, and my wife was there.
So basically, my wife and your wife.
Yeah.
What's
at
up,
the moment, you're probably gonna find a new
very
wife very
sad
soon.
situation. Yeah,
Sorry,
hopefully.
Jessie.
Yeah.
So the movie is separated in 3 parts. You have the beginning, which is more like the introduction to the movie, and it's like we go back into an old style of movie, which is like you really separate into 3-part movie. So the first is like the premise, the people, what we're going to talk about, and I mean it's about models.
In the fashion world too, kind of,
the
right?
fashion
it's like a
world.
combo satire of like, it's all about satirizing superficiality with this guy.
And luxurious. You remember one of the first scenes is that that model, the man, who's
Balenciaga.
who's getting interviewed, and then of course this famous scene that you see in the trailer.
So it's a grumpy brand, yeah? Congratulations! Show me that Balenciaga look. Suddenly I'm dressed in something way less expensive. It's H&M! Yay! Balenciaga! And H&M! Balenciaga! And H&M! So what do
You're rich, you don't have to smile, you know, but H&M, you're poor. you kind of smile when you're wearing. Like.
It just cuts right to the whole heart of what the movie's about.
Exactly.
It's such a great gag, or whatever. Well, maybe better word than gag for that, but it's such a great kind of like microcosm of like what the whole thing is. You know, it's just so ridiculous. But also the way that movie's executed, especially in that sequence, like with the camera moving while you're being introduced to this like really authentic world, which is also absurd. And that movie immediately grabbed me, and I was like, okay, so far, this movie is my favorite movie of the year. And just by the end of it, it's tied for my favorite movie of the year.
You really enter directly into 2022 kind of sort of relationship, which is like really about image, about showing yourself happy with your husband on Instagram, or on Facebook, on TikTok, and really trying to exist through finally like other people instead of...
An avatar almost.
Yeah, voila. This movie to me is art because it really expresses what we are in today. Like, meaning like in 100 years when people are gonna see the Triangle of Sadness in a DVD on their like spaceship or anything, they're really gonna feel what was the sickness of today's society, you know.
Well, hold on. At that point, obviously, there's not even DVDs now, really. I wonder what is it gonna be like? Is it gonna be streaming? No, it's probably gonna be like you can be inside the movie and like kind of be a character watching the movie around you. Just a little side note.
I mean, I would like to remind you what the records did, you know. They went out and they're coming back very strong. And I mean, right now we are...
Are they though? Because I haven't bought a record in 2 years.
Me, I bought a record yesterday again.
That's you though. You're French, you know.
No, it's not. I'm French.
No, but it's like, I mean, I still buy 4K Blu-rays.
Voila.
But I'm the only person I know that buys 4K Blu-rays.
Correct, I don't. Triangle of Sadness is very relevant again of the society of today. Instead of putting on a pedestal rich people, they literally vomit on those people for like, I don't know, it was long.
For starters, they vomit.
The best part of this movie is captain of the boat, or Marcus, we should say. Woody
Harrelson,
who's a captain,
so
American captain, like from really like deep America. He's a captain of that billionaire people's boat, and he's a Marxism, and he meets this Russian oligarch who's on the other side. He's more on the consumerist part, on
all the money for him.
All the money for him, or the capitalist man, and they have this talk and this discussion in the middle of this extremely vomiting scene.
Russian capitalist and an American communist.
On a $250 million luxury yacht.
The ship is going under.
It doesn't look well.
Which is also coinciding with a big storm.
All these elements which is going
and
together.
And the bad oysters that make everybody throw up. But it also ties in back to the theme, I think, maybe of like they're not even aware of how the food's made or where it's coming from or what it is. Feed me now kind of mentality.
I don't
think that's possible, ma'am, because this is a motorized vessel.
Yeah.
So we don't have any sails.
The last third of the film, they end up on an island, the ship crashes, the ship crashes, and all of a sudden it's like this back to nature, animal, survival of the fittest, natural selection situation where like the class status has evaporated and now it's who knows how to capture food.
Correct.
And whoever can do that runs the hierarchy.
Runs the
Is
hierarchy.
at the top of the hierarchy.
And obviously, it's not someone of the 1% who knows how to capture food in
It's
a
the other end of
deserted
the
island.
spectrum.
It's the other end of the spectrum who takes the power suddenly.
I think some people might see this as too artsy of a movie. I think even if you are one of those people that don't like movies that premiere or win Cannes, still worth seeing because it's so relatable.
The soundtrack is great. I really like the music. It goes
What
with it.
the world needs now.
Exactly. Go see that movie if you don't have time to see it or anything. Stream it. It got the palm of the Festival de Cannes. It's still not on those best movie lists of any. I mean,
and these best movie lists is IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, right?
When you look at it, I mean, even when it's on Amazon Prime, it's IMDb notation that they got, and so on and so forth. Only Netflix use their own.
They have them, I mean, because Amazon owns IMDb.
Ah, voila.
And that's a whole other also, look, these conversations can go in so many directions. You know, Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb and like how that is like the representation of where to find reviews.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's a lot of problems with those places.
There's a lot of problem, but I mean, there's something I really noticed through the years that IMDb, even though it's more like bigger range, the best movie of the year are most movies I've seen. In Rotten Tomato, the best 20 movies, I've seen probably like 20% of them. And once again, I have an AM system member, so I go see a lot of movies, even though if they don't have everything, they have a lot of independent movies.
Yeah.
They have a lot of stuff. It's $29 a month. I don't want to do a commercial for them.
We come to this place for magic. We come to AMC theaters to laugh, to cry, to care. Because we need that, all of us. That indescribable feeling we get when the lights begin to dim.
We need to support theaters, and that's a really good way to go see at least 2 movies a month.
Shout out Nicole Kidman, what's up, girl?
Yeah, my God, Nicole, represent.
Dazzling images on a huge silver screen. Sound that I can feel. Somehow, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
But I love that we have that as a memory when we look back at this time. Remember that Nicole Kidman AMC with the puddle when she walked in? And it's like, da-da-da-da-da, and everybody's like, woo! That's cool. I mean, I'm down for that. Real quick, these lists, can I just pull this up real quick?
Yes, please pull this up.
So can we just very quickly, here's your IMDb.
Okay, IMDb, I mean.
And Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah, what do you have on that top 20 list of there?
Top 1 is Everything Everywhere All at Once. Amazing movie.
It's in my top 5 for sure.
Top 5 for sure. Michelle Yeoh is, I mean, to me, she should get the best actress.
Yeah. Who else
Oscar this year. I mean, this is such a great
I think so.
panel, and she deserves it. She's been here for so long. She's been acting in so many movies, working so much.
But also the physicality of that role too. I mean, on top of her emotional performance.
I can see where this story is going. It does not look good. What's happening?
Across the multiverse, I've seen thousands of Evelyns. You can access all their memories, their emotions, even their skills. There's a great evil spreading throughout the many verses. And you may be your only chance of stopping it.
Fresh style, but they also tapped into the multiverse kind of popularity, but in like a fresh way. And the Daniels, the 2 directors, like it's so cool to see them shine. And shout out to A24 too for like really apparently going out on a limb and pumping this movie up. You remember when it came out, it was limited release, and the word of mouth. Like that movie gives us hope for this whole
made it more
cinema thing, because it found a life, and like I don't know how much it made ultimately, but that's the biggest success of the year. I feel like the biggest movie success story of the year.
Okay.
From like because it's technically an independent film. It's not a studio film.
It is.
It's not a studio film. It's A24 is like not a studio. I mean like a small I don't know, a small label, but
they produce a lot of good movies.
And they do, and they don't make a lot of money on these good movies. So like, props to them and props to the Daniels, and like, that movie did make a lot of money, so it's a good sign.
Top Gun Maverick. I mean,
the complete opposite of Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, but I mean, Tom Cruise.
It's a great movie.
It's an amazing movie.
This movie is like, let me get this metaphor right. What am I thinking here? It's like a pizza. It's like a pizza. It's not complicated.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
cheese and pepperoni.
Yeah.
No pineapple.
No, thank you.
Just a perfect pizza.
As my 3-year-old Luke says, this is his table, by the way. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. He's
by the way, I just want to say out there that he has one kid. I just have twins, and we still go to the movies at least 4, 5, 6, 7 times a month to see all the movie we can because it's magical. And I mean, even if you have kids, just go to the theater. That's really something we really want to emphasize on because we don't want theater to disappear. So Top Gun, what do you like about Top Gun?
I've always been a Tom Cruise fan. He knows what he's doing. He knows who to work with, and every single time it's a home run. And so what I like about Top Gun Maverick, besides the obvious, Tom Cruise is great. It doesn't ask much of you. It's so rewarding, and it just goes like this when you watch it. Just satisfaction level.
And how old were you when you saw the first one?
8? No, I don't know. Maybe 10. I don't know.
So you see, there's such a nostalgic effect
of
our generation, basically.
Yeah.
Of like born in the 80s.
Yeah.
Kids that have seen a movie when we were babies, and seeing that other movie, or like even older generation than us that saw the first movie.
Yeah.
Like you just get taken. My favorite part of it is that, like in a first movie, there's no name of the enemy. There's an enemy, but we don't know who it is.
That is
There's
true.
no like, oh, it's the Russian, oh, it's the Arabic.
Which is really tricky, I feel like, to pull off.
It's tricky, but it's so respectful, and it's so like, I think, because, okay, America, biggest military in the world, we have the weapon, we have the burger, we have everything here. America.
Fuck yeah.
Instead of doing like, oh yeah, it's the Russian or something like that, they have this respect of really doing something simple and really you see the enemy pilots, they have those black things. You cannot see any of their face. You don't know where they come from, where it is.
It's such a fucking movie.
Yeah,
a movie.
There's no judgment of any kind. It's a beautiful demonstration of a beautiful military, American military, which is, God bless the veteran for fighting for the country, for fighting for freedom. And at the end of the day, it's not about selling weapons or stuff like that. It's about the people who drive the plane. So it's more about human. It's not about showing off about the American military beauty of technology. It's more about the humans that are behind and do a great job of saving people.
Moving along. Boiling Point number 3, which is very interesting to be on the IMDb, and like this is really exciting actually for independent filmmakers because this movie, I'm pretty sure they shot this for $1 million or less to be in between Top Gun and the Batman on number 4, which doesn't make any sense to me. This former actor, I forget his name, Bellantini, I forget his name. He directed this, and this whole movie is all in one take.
Bravo.
The whole entire thing. No fake stitching, no fake cuts or anything.
Nobody did that ever.
Yeah, they've done it. Russian Ark back in the day. Victoria, the movie that like about 8 years ago, they did. It's been done, but this I feel like is like
not that good.
Huh?
It was not that good.
Boiling Point?
No, I mean they didn't do as good as Boiling Point when they did.
I feel like Boiling Point, the acting, it didn't. You kind of did forget that it was all one take. It wasn't a huge sacrifice of like characterization and like acting to get the one take. Do you know what I mean? I feel like everybody did a really good job, and I was very impressed with like for an 1.5-hour movie.
And so it's a restaurant.
It's about a chef who has some like some very quickly set up kind of personal problems and like, you know, he's just trying to, there's not a huge amount of stakes. That could have been my only thing, where if you could have raised the stakes a little bit higher, but it works at the same time. Stephen Graham's in it, great actor.
Should I go see it?
You should rent it.
You should rent it.
You should rent it,
You should
yeah,
rent
and
it.
support it. And
I haven't seen it yet, and it's a restaurant themed kind of, you know, it's my thing.
Yeah,
So I mean,
yeah,
I should see it for supporting that.
But it's so cool that it's up here on this, you know, because it's like, I think it just started with an idea. It was a short film first, and then they said, well, why don't we make it into a feature? And then said, why don't we do a one take? They did 4 takes, and I heard the director in an interview. They did 4 takes, and then they got shut down by COVID. So this was right before COVID. So I think the movie is the 4th take.
Boom.
Yeah.
Take 4, an hour and a half of movie in it. The Batman.
Yeah, so what about it?
I mean, it's a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
The imagination of the world of Batman is really towards the comic, and that's super respectful.
But the darker detective, DC detective comics, like Gothic, or
Correct.
noir
The car.
side.
The car is like, boom. Right.
Atmosphere.
Yes,
It
it's
looks kind
dark.
of reminds me of Blade Runner 2049, the way it looks
Yes,
and feels.
yes.
You can kind of like feel the smog in the air.
But we've a darker director of photography, I think.
Yeah,
It's
Greg
much
Fraser,
darker.
did he shoot that? I'm not sure.
The director of photography did a great job. I mean, the shadows, the work of shadows and light it's amazing.
Nicely done.
It's too long, 3 hours.
It's way too long.
I mean, why?
Preciousness, I guess.
Preciousness, but Robert Pattinson does a great job.
Absolutely.
Once again, I think he's a great actor.
Yeah.
Behind this Twilight stuff and everything, which was his beginning, I think this man has just like evolved as a great actor. He's like, he really gets into the character. And when you heard about Batman, Robert Pattinson, you say, what?
Is that what your reaction was?
I mean, yes, like
Nice,
what?
nice.
Because like, you know, it's more like, you know, like the elephant or something like that, the water for elephant or stuff like that. It's more like, it's more a delicate man. It's like very beautiful and more like, you know, like, and very good acting, where you don't see him like as like the night revenger, or dark with like psychological problem like that. You know, like,
But once you see the emo take on it, they went so
beautiful.
emo, and it's like, but you know, it was good. But to be number 4 on this list, no.
But was the movie worth seeing?
Totally. Number 5. Let's go to 5 though.
Number 5. I mean,
we saw this together as
we
well.
saw this together.
There's only 5 people.
I can't say the name.
Hold on. That means something.
That means something.
The keyboard just went off on its own.
I cannot say the name of that movie, so he's going to tell it for you.
The Banshees of Inisherin.
Voilà. Great director, you know, in Bruges.
And even better writer, I think.
Who was the writer? Oh, the
Martin
same. Yeah,
McDonagh.
it's him. He directs and he writes. Yeah. If you like in Bruges, this is 10 times better.
You think so?
Oh, I think so. I mean,
It's-
like
it's-
this
it is
simplicity.
better. I think it's better for sure. I enjoy In Bruges better because I'm a big crime guy, big crime guy. But this is this is his best film.
It's like you have to imagine that the movie is all about, for example, it's not us, but it's about Marcus and me. And one day I come to Marcus and I say, I don't want to be your friend no more.
Didn't you and he used to be the best of friends?
We're still the best of friends.
No, you're not.
Who says we're not?
Sit somewhere else.
Now, if I've done something to you, just tell me what I've done to you.
When you didn't do anything to me, I just don't like you no more.
You liked me yesterday.
Why does he not want to be friends with you no more? What is he, 12?
What the hell's going on with you, me feckin' brother?
He's dull, Siobhan.
But he's always been done.
The other night, 2 hours you spent talking to me about the things you found in your little donkey shite that day.
Well, it wasn't me little donkey shite, it was me pony shite, which shows how much you were listening.
If you don't stop talking to me,
Colin!
and if you don't stop bothering me, I have a set of shears at home, and each time you bother me from this day on, I'll take those shears and I'll take one of my fingers off with them, and I'll give that finger to you until I have no fingers left. Does this make things clearer to you?
Not really, no.
Oh,
It's just so beautiful.
the simplicity is beautiful for sure.
The simplicity,
and
beautiful.
the execution, like Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson.
This movie has to be seen.
Do we want to go into all these or no? Do we have time?
I mean,
or should we go to Rotten Tomato?
I mean, no, we should go on all this because Rotten Tomato, there's nothing we want to talk about.
Okay, so we'll just put this in the trash.
So let's talk about the movies that made sense. So let's talk about Glass Onion, for
Glass
example.
Onion, okay.
I mean, I mean, Knives Out, I was not a big fan of the first one.
I didn't like it either.
There's a great acting behind it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good actors. There's a good like mise en scène. I just don't get into it. Glass Onion was even worse to me.
But the first Knives Out was a whodunit until it wasn't a whodunit.
Yeah.
That's my problem with it. And I mean, I think Rian Johnson's a great writer for sure. But it turned into this like almost like Lifetimey thing where she's trying to get away. You know she did it, or you think you're believed to think that she did it, and then it turns into like a getaway movie for like 45 minutes. And then they give you another twist at the end, but I couldn't understand why everybody loved it so much. It was great cast, great directing, but this Glass Onion, I liked it more. I didn't love it, but I liked it more.
I mean, to me, there's just like a little thing missing to maybe make it better. I mean, Daniel Craig with a southern accent, I can't do it.
I just always think about Logan Lucky, like that character he did in Soderbergh's film.
Oh yeah, that was a fun movie.
By the way, full disclosure, Soderbergh's my favorite.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Favorite filmmaker.
Okay.
And so with that one, also it matched the tone of that film. It worked.
I didn't know it was Soderbergh who did Logan Lucky.
Yeah.
It's a very random kind of movie for Soderbergh, you know.
But look at his filmography, all of it's just, there's no pattern to it really.
Yeah, there's no pattern.
Which
he
I
always
love.
do something different.
Yeah, and he just makes it and moves on. But anyway, I feel like Daniel Craig was like borrowing from that character and just moved it over to this. That being said, Daniel Craig does not really bother me in this movie. I enjoy him in the movie. Glass Onion, 7 out of 10. I liked it.
Okay.
Not that you asked for my score or
more into
anything.
the 5 out of 10, but
damn.
yeah, man, like
shit.
No, because it's like they have such a great cast, such a great image, such a great director, and there's something that misses into it to go into the next step of art, you know.
I agree. Also, something about just seeing. I know it was in theaters for like a little bit, but something about seeing movies on Netflix, that speaks to more of the way you see a movie as opposed to the movie itself. But there's something that reduces the movie. The obvious thing would be you're not seeing it on a screen bigger than you, and you're not sharing it with a big crowd of people. But also, like,
yeah, you can smoke your weed, you can have your glass of wine, you can have your charcuterie,
that's great.
You have a 4K screen, you have a 5.1. Like,
hopefully you got your sound right, because everybody's like, why would I do that when I can watch it on a big TV? Well, how does your shit sound though?
Yeah, that's always a problem. A sound bar is not enough.
The way you watch a movie too does affect your takeaway from it, which also kind of speaks to when you watch a movie for the first time and you have a certain takeaway, and then you watch it again a second time, and sometimes I find myself liking it even more the second time.
Yep, correct.
Sometimes I find myself liking it less.
Okay.
Sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, oh, maybe this movie isn't as good as I thought it was or wanted it to be at the time.
Because also it always depends on your state of mind, or your confidence. It depends on you. You know, you're reacting on a painting, you know, and so your different mood, your different state of mind is gonna react differently to this beautiful painting brushed by these actors and directors and all that shenanigans.
Yeah, totally.
After on the list, we have 2 movies I sadly haven't seen. I'm gonna blame it on Julien and Marcel, but I shouldn't. The first one is Tar, that I really want to see very bad. I'm sure if I see it, maybe I will have a problem with Michelle Yeoh having the Oscar of Best Actress. Maybe.
Scorsese said the other day, I think yesterday, that's his favorite movie of the year. He loves it. Todd Field, the director. He
Tar?
said, yeah.
Oh,
he said, basically he puts the audience in the full-on perspective of Cate Blanchett.
Okay.
Like you are her when you're watching it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
The Fableman.
Didn't see it either.
Didn't see it either. It's also a movie I went to see, but you know.
It feels like a movie at home. I know I just
2
said
babies.
go to the theater, but
really, no, I don't think so. Every night.
Honestly, I saw the
it's
preview.
Steven Spielberg, man.
I know, but the thing about Spielberg is he's just honestly for me, recent years, I just find his stuff to be a little too melodramatic.
I mean, because it's like he's mellow.
Personally.
I don't think he's a very happy man.
Oh, interesting. Maybe I don't.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't say he's not a happy man. It's just I say maybe he's not like épanoui. He's not like aware and awake of his talent, and like so he's like doing more movies, kind
He's
of
a little
like.
too comfortable.
Yeah, maybe. Probably, definitely, actually, you know, like for how many years he was the best director ever. I mean,
understandable.
Like, he's a boy from the 90s, he's our man from the 90s,
And
man. Like,
but also, I will never forget
Jurassic Park, man.
Yeah, man.
I've seen Jurassic Park so many times, I can watch it right now.
Munich is so good.
Really?
I know it might not be my favorite, but like Munich is the opposite of like his recent melodramatic stuff to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Where Munich is like
there's more like
got an edge to
historical
it. Historical
kind of way to it. The next movie on the list is one of the best storyteller ever born. I mean, we're gonna talk about Avatar.
And before we get into
The Way of
Avatar,
Water.
let's talk about this book here, Tech Noir, The Art of James Cameron. You got this for me for Christmas.
Santa got it for you for Christmas.
Okay, Santa got it for me for Christmas. Saint Vincent.
What a treat!
This guy is a fucking genius. I think he is the modern day GOAT.
Okay.
For sure. I think Kubrick is the...
What's GOAT again?
The greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time. This is
because Avatar, going back to Avatar 2, what you just brought up, that's my favorite movie of the year.
Okay. Wow.
The way of water connects all things. Before your birth and after your death.
This is our home!
I need you with me. And I need you to be strong. Strong-hearted.
What the? How is it only 7.9 on IMDb?
I mean, I went into the movie leaving my kids for 4 hours. You know, the time to get the movie theater, a 3 hour and 20-minute movie. And I mean, we sat down and I say, okay, we sit down and usually it's a 3.5 hour movie. So I say, I don't get my soda and my popcorn right now. I'm gonna wait. Okay, that's what I do because it's a 3.5 hour movie. You need like an intermittence.
You don't want to miss anything.
Voilà, because it was just so interesting, so beautiful, so innovative.
My initial takeaway, and it still is the same, is like I'm just so mind blown at the fact that the technical is like so beyond anything you've seen. I mean, but that's not even the best thing about the movie. The best thing about the movie is the emotional like reaction he pulls from you, and like the emotional threads that are running through the movie.
Because
and like the love story with the family against this like man versus machine, man versus nature.
And we just had babies, so like we have these
huge
fatherhood.
Mythic, it's like 4 genres, and I mean it's just so people knock on how like simple the story is, but it's like, what's wrong with simple? But also it's not. It's so hard to pull off what he's got going on there, and it's like it's just
best storyteller ever.
It's so good.
I mean, when you see the people going under the water, you see the muscles of the leg just going through of the vibe of the water because of the speed. All this detail into the image is just like so like,
yeah.
You're just like blown away by you while you're looking. You have to see that in theater, that's for sure.
In 3D too. Also, all that technical stuff, all those details always stem from some sort of emotional beat, moment, or some sort of characterization. He always prioritizes that first. And for somebody who's so talented as far as technically and as artistically and visually as he is, for him to prioritize that, that makes him the GOAT to me.
Yeah. He's the only alive director who has 2 movies on the top 10 ever biggest income of movies ever.
His stuff also translates to blockbuster. He's like a blockbuster auteur.
Avatar, go see it. Maybe you're not gonna like it or not. I have some friends who didn't like it. They still stayed the whole movie. I mean, even if you don't like it or something like that, you'll be just glued to your seat. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Story relates to everybody, like you said. I mean, like whether you're father or daughter, uncle or anything, you relate to that. There's a lot of family kind of driven stuff. I don't know how to say that in English, but the poetry behind the fact that this corporation company, let's imagine, 400 years ago, coming they're like selling boats into the Americas, the New World.
Colonialism, really, that's what it's about.
I mean, and killing everybody, those people who live in osmosis with nature. And I mean, this is like so like, I mean, great movie.
Whenever you're coming up with something that original and that much financial risk against it, and you come out and you make $1 billion in the first 3 weeks, and he's gonna go on to make probably 3. I mean, it's gonna probably maybe beat the first Avatar.
Let's hope like
Come
they
on,
have 3 movies at the best sales ever in the world, man. Crazy.
And that's a whole other side conversation too, of talking about like what a good movie is, and that's subjective. But what really does mean a good movie, quality film, versus a marketable one?
I mean,
you know?
a good movie is a movie that you enjoy. You see it and you feel transported, you know. The Avenger 5,
Yeah.
I mean, there's such a big following. There's so many people get touched by those movies because they read the comics when they were young or anything.
Yeah.
That it is art because he goes into the theater, he gets produced, and you have so many people that relate to it, that feels emotion thanks to that
It's
movie.
almost like a child that's got
you know?
a paintbrush and it's just painting a circle.
Voilà. And I mean, that's why I take the example of Avenger or Iron Man or Spider-Man 26 or anything like that, because it's very important that even those movies that I'm sorry I don't go see are something that brings people to the theater, brings
sure.
people out of their day-to-day life to imagine something else. Every movie is great as long as you like it and as you enjoyed it.
Nice.
You know?
I love Spider-Man Homecoming, by the way. Or I'm sorry, No Way Home.
No Way Home?
And my buddy Sarain, you know Sarain, this man went and saw it 12 times in the theater. No cap. On God.
Man.
On God.
Go see other movies, man.
12
I
times.
love you. Do something else.
Yeah, man, what are you doing, man? And then he saw Avatar 2 and he's like,
There's a lot of review of elitist reviewer and critics that say that this movie works so well because of the nostalgic they put into it, because you have
For sure.
Tobey Maguire,
Yeah.
the first Spider-Man of our generation,
Okay.
and so on and so forth.
Yep,
So,
yep.
so they touch everybody, whether you're someone like me who loved the first Spider-Man in 2002,
Right, yeah.
when I was like 22 years old. I was so impressed.
Great
I was
movie.
a young man. It was a great movie.
I mean, yeah.
But bringing all those people into No Way Home makes it, even though with no effort,
I think that's a
something
huge
very
part,
big.
But I think also what makes it is that it's just got a lot of moving pieces that seem to work seamlessly. Like, it's really a good movie, as opposed to, let's just pick on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which is a Marvel movie and made a lot of money. That movie was not good, and it's not because, I don't care if somebody enjoyed it, it wasn't good. And it's because it was all over the place. It felt like 3 different movies kind of crammed together. You could tell like you probably had some executives with their fingers in the pie. That is not. Some movies are not good. Sorry, that's just my opinion.
No worries.
But at the same time, if somebody enjoys whatever they enjoy, they have every right to enjoy.
Exactly.
You know? But it's just an interesting thing as far as like, how did that movie make so much money?
So how would
Probably
you...
the brand, I guess.
How would you recommend people to go see Avatar?
What do you mean? How would I recommend?
Yeah.
Like, well, get in your car, drive your ass to the theater.
Do you bring some snacks because it's 3.5 hours? Just make a little booty.
Maybe do a little mushroom chocolate.
Ah, okay, d'accord.
I mean, if you do that kind of thing. I mean, I'm not saying I did or didn't.
So get ready.
Yeah.
Do your stuff and go see that movie.
Yeah, just go see it. Yeah. And also, like, the parenting themes. We're dads now.
The
and like
baby's
that
Avatar, man. The baby's Avatar, the little footsie and a little... Oh my God, that was so cute. All quiet on the Western Front. My mother-in-law
I watched it the other day.
And she told me, you have to see that movie. I haven't seen it yet.
I saw it. Really, really nice movie. Really well made.
Okay.
Really German.
On the German side?
I believe it was German produced.
Okay.
And it's obviously has stories about German soldiers.
And French
it's
soldiers.
It's a remake of the original film, right?
A young German soldier, terrifying experience to distress the Western Front during World War I.
So it starts out where it's like you have this kind of, he's happy as hell to go. He's very excited and proud.
Yeah, because military, like,
and
let's go.
And then all of a sudden he just steps into this nightmare and he slowly realizes it and it turns into just like horror.
What did I do?
Yeah, and it's just straight up downhill from there, if you will. But it was good. It's worth seeing for sure. The Menu.
The Menu.
I
just saw it yesterday night.
I'm gonna see it maybe tomorrow.
I mean, my wife wanted to stop it directly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she didn't know it was a horror movie. But it's an horror movie.
It is a horror movie.
So like, I mean, like
not a thriller or suspense.
No, it's an horror movie. It's like written. It's like a.
Okay.
It's like horror suspense or something like that.
Okay.
You know, this new kind of movie. It's beautiful.
So what's your score on that movie?
I mean, my score on that movie would be, it's again a movie about the 1% Like, this time they're not vomiting on them, they're killing them.
Mm.
I put it like a 7, 6.5. We have to talk about a movie tonight. I mean, for me, a favorite movie of the year is The Northman. Why? Because I think Hamlet has been a Shakespearean story that you can relate so well through the last 500 years. Yeah. His father gets killed by his brother. The son runs away, and his only purpose is to come and revenge his father and to save his mother. But when he comes back, his mother is fucking more happy to be with that new man.
Devastating.
And so on and so forth. So it's a devastating movie. I mean, that kid, the Skarsgård, he's jacked on that movie, but I mean, those kids, all the Skarsgård's kid plays like crazy well. The director did such a beautiful work.
Robert
to
Eggers.
Me, why is it a perfect movie this year? Because there's not a scene I will cut out of this movie. Because a perfect movie is not forcefully a movie you like. It's just a movie that you see all the way and there's nothing to take off. And that movie, I don't think there's anything to take off. I saw it 1 time at the theater, 2 times at home. I mean, it gets along with all the pagan Viking religion, Russian pagan religion. Like they mix everything. Everything is like the set, the acting. What a disappointment to see the Queen being played by
Miss AMC.
Somehow, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
It's just everywhere, man. Like I see it before the movie, and in the movie, for me, it's too much.
It's too much?
Yeah, but I mean,
the only thing would be to see it after the movie when you go home.
She couldn't ruin anything. I mean, for me, The Northman, you come into an allegory of revenge, of love, and he gets twin at the end. I mean,
So the first time I saw it, I thought it was a little slow. But my expectations, this goes back to like what your how you see a movie, and my expectations were like something completely different than what the movie was. The second time I watched it on HBO on my wonderful 77-inch Sony TV over here, I felt the same way you did. Like it was fucking great. I think of the shot where he's running towards the castle and the camera follows up and goes over with him, and then it's just all these great tracking shots.
The beast in you, and that's what is beautiful about that movie. It's like he used the pagan Viking kind of thinking and religion to show you that you're a beast, you're an animal. Who do you fucking think you are? You're just an animal. It's a rated R.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a rated R, but I mean, this is a storytelling about humanity and how about we are beasts. And I mean,
it's interesting that circles all the way back to our first movie that we talked about, Triangle of Sadness. Yeah. The last third of that film is all about we're just beasts.
Yeah, we're just animals. Who's the one can provide for the others? He's the alpha male. No, not the alpha male. The alpha of the crowd. No, sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to be like macho and everything.
This whole thing's a wash.
Thank you.
We were almost there too. Damn. Well. No, that's funny, yeah.
To the Northman. And to Avatar.
Great year of movies.
Next on the list, Guillermo del Toro, Pinocchio. A beautiful movie. That man is just like a beautiful storyteller. One thing, the songs were very bad because there's a few songs into the movie. But the way it turned out, the story is very elegant. I was not expecting less from Guillermo del Toro. Because one of my favorite directors.
Wait, say his name again? That was
Guillermo del Toro.
Sounded perfect.
It's my favorite one of my favorite director. The animated stop motion is just perfect.
What
is that?
The decor, the way he designed Geppetto and Pinocchio and everybody else.
No, I'm a real boy.
I was very transported. We did a movie night at home, and I really liked it.
I hated it.
Oh, you hated it?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No. I liked it. I watched the first 10 minutes, and I had to stop it only because I wasn't in the mood. I knew what was coming.
Yeah,
I knew that the kid was about to die, and the dad was going to be fucked up about it.
I have something I'd like to give you. It is a school book which belonged to a very special boy.
The boy you lost?
That stuff really, really affects me hard now.
And it's because it's like it's tough to lose someone, man.
Yeah, especially if it's like the
if
most
it's
important
your kid,
thing
or
in
like
your
your
world.
like your little brother.
And so I just wasn't ready for it in that sitting, I guess. But it was really good what I saw. And Del Toro is fucking amazing.
And the way he turned the story, really it's always like Del Toro is the best at talking about monsters. I mean, that's what he does. He talks about monsters, and that's why my favorite movie of last year.
We have the same one. Nightmare Alley?
Nightmare Alley, my favorite movie of last year, because I mean the movie is so beautiful. I saw it in color and in black and white as well. Like they do 2 versions.
Which one do you like the best?
I mean, I don't know, because he's a master of image. The play with the shadows.
Yeah, it's such a homage.
1950s.
Such a homage to like the old film noir it's
Yeah,
based on.
film noir. 50s
Very
film noir
thick,
with like
very
all this
thick.
like it's just
like, hey man, get another light. Damn, I'm just kidding.
Nope. Jordan Peele.
Okay, yes, I liked it a lot.
With that guy, I love that actor.
It's my
What's
top
his
5
name?
favorite movie this year. You talking about Daniel Kaluuya?
Daniel Kaluuya. I mean, like that actor is like
Keke Palmer was
amazing on
fantastic.
camera. Is like this premise is beautiful. The image is beautiful. The story is beautiful.
But that's why back at the Haywood Ranch, as the only black-owned horse trainers in Hollywood, we like to say since the moment pitches could move, we had skin in the game.
Have one ick about it, even though if I think it's one of the best movies of the year, I think the story about the monkey, he's kind of pulled by the air to some kind of other direction to bring him to make the decision at the end. I mean,
It was a little bit too superfluous.
Yeah, I mean, like I didn't understand that part.
I mean, it was definitely an odd kind of like addition to it, but it did serve the story from a character standpoint. As far as
like you, I read the article on the LA Times.
I didn't read that article.
This. Okay, I read the article on the LA Times about this. But I still think it's just pulled by the air.
But I mean, it didn't bother me. I thought it gave it a little air of mystery. Something about it. But I know what you're saying. It makes sense what you're saying.
I mean, this
it just didn't bother me too much.
This comedian becoming this just such a great director.
He is a great director.
It's a great director.
Like, and that movie for me was the one where I realized maybe Get Out was not a fluke. Us, I didn't like. I thought that was not great.
I didn't like Us. I love Get Out though.
But yeah, Get Out was great. But Nope, that's when you're like, this dude is for real.
They got word for that.
Yeah, nah.
Shout out to my man Manny Duran too, Killer Grip, my old boss when I used to be a grip for movies. Daniel Kaluuya was wearing the Killer Grip t-shirt for like 30 minutes in that movie, and I said, what? And I hit up Manny, and Manny said that he went to wardrobe that day and just went through the rack of clothes and said, hey, can I wear this? And the wardrobe person is friends with Manny, and she had a bunch of Killer Grip shirts.
Okay, so yes.
I love it's like that's my favorite.
Cool.
It was so cool.
Of the alien spaceship.
Love that.
Could have been better.
The actual
the actual thing, because
yeah.
you know, I don't know if you guys, I mean, I don't want to talk about TV show, but Farscape, which is one of the best.
We don't talk about TV here. We don't do that.
Yeah, which is one of the best Australian TV show ever, but like, let's not talk about it.
Let's not talk about TVs or Australians.
Okay, let's talk about Australian then. Elvis.
Right. And Baz Luhrmann.
I mean, Baz Luhrmann, I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't like the movie.
I did like it.
I know, it's like.
This is a very
this rap
polarizing
music
movie.
on Elvis, on.
But there wasn't a lot of rap music. I don't remember except for the end credits.
No.
Really?
They put it
Was
like
it?
there and there, like so like he's doing a concert and there's rap music coming up and like something like that. Like
something about that doesn't. I don't
the
know.
kid plays well.
Yeah, he's great. But also, I love that the movie was one giant montage. Boom, 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 boom. Just cut,
I know,
cut,
but
cut.
I think it was not a good rhythm to it.
I've heard that from other people.
Like it was not like.
I couldn't believe how good it was, honestly. And maybe my expectations were so low because I don't like Baz Luhrmann movies usually. I like the old stuff. Yeah, but that was 48 years ago.
From Baz Luhrmann, the director who reimagined Shakespeare, comes a bold new vision of an American icon.
But this ain't no nostalgia show. We're gonna do something different.
A remake of the book,
Great Gatsby.
The Great Gatsby.
Again, that had hip hop. You had Jay-Z and.
And plus Leonardo. I mean.
I want to rewatch
Leonardo.
that. I enjoyed that one, yeah. But again, that's very Elvis-like, where it was very modernized, very fast, quick montage.
I like Elvis. This is a great rock and roll. He's a great rock and roll singer. But this was like something like.
Did you see Blonde?
No.
This reminds me of Blonde. This topic because that movie was about Marilyn Monroe.
Oh,
People were
no,
so pissed about this movie.
I was really like hoping for a biopic like Ray, like the Ray Charles biopic, which was like I think amazing.
Hey, how do we wrap this up? Because we're done with this one.
I mean, New Year's coming, so we should talk about best Christmas movie ever. I mean, Miracle on 34th Street.
Are you about to cry?
I cry every time. Yeah, because it's like so beautiful. Of course, the one from the 90s is great, but the original one is exactly the same. And it's from the 50s. And it's just so beautiful. And there's so much rhythm. And even if we watch it today in 2022, that movie gets you. And I cry every Christmas because I watch it every Christmas. And wow, best movie.
My favorite Christmas movie is very similar. Die Hard. It's so predictable. Die Hard, but it is though. And I base that on like this is the one I watch almost every Christmas. Rewatching a movie and still liking it after 20 times of watching that movie?
Or maybe 100 times sometime.
Maybe, but Die Hard specifically, like rewatching it, especially that ending, I'm like, this is better than I remember.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's fucking great, but it's such a. When somebody's like, "Is it a Christmas movie?" I'm like, well, "What are you talking
about?"
Yes,
it is. It's just like all about
absolutely
Christmas.
a Christmas movie.
It's Christmas Eve in L.A.,
California. Is Daddy coming home soon? Well, we'll see what Santa and Mommy can do, okay?
and New York cop John McClane has come to see his wife.
I missed you.
Instead, he's going to have to save her. Bruce Willis, Die Hard.
Got invited to the Christmas party by mistake. Who knew?
Anyways, that's mine. Die Hard.
Last question. Any streaming movie mark you this year?
Favorite streaming movies?
No, any streaming movie mark you up this year, like, or anything like that.
What do you mean,
like,
mark me up? What do you mean?
Like you remember it.
Oh,
and
okay. Damn. You go first.
I mean, me, there's not much. I mean, like me, I know that I've seen all the Netflix original and Hulu original or HBO original. At the end of the movie, the next day, people ask me, "What have you seen on Netflix so I can watch it?" And I say, I don't know.
I was really excited about The Gray Man, the espionage movie with Gosling and
Ryan Gosling
and Chris Evans. And you know what? It was okay, but it felt like a Netflix movie. And then one coming out tonight, actually, which is it's 2023 now, but The Pale Blue Eye with Christian Bale.
Oh my God, yes!
I want to see this.
That's the one I'm very expecting. Well, no, the streaming movie. I mean, like, there's a lot of movie I've seen. I've seen all of them. I don't. There's no one except Pinocchio.
It's just.
Except Pinocchio.
Yeah, there you go.
Except Pinocchio, there's no one that I just like.
How do we end this thing?
I mean,
what is the final? Movies and Wine, episode 1 in the can.
Thank you for listening.
Ciao.